Yeah, I agree. So if you guys are all ready, let's get some legacy going here. Here we go. We've got Dr. Leo on the left. We've got Argon Platypus on the right. We are, looks like they've got their life totals. It looks like they're shuffled. They are ready to rock and roll. We'll give them the go ahead that they are good to go. And Doc's not sitting there. He should be here shortly.
Format lately, but I have seen a lot of the Bug Zenith deck.
Yeah.
So curious to see how this goes. It's reminding me a little bit of the Bant Control matchup in Modern, where there's a similar kind of big mid range deck that goes out and plays some of the cantripping permanents.
Yeah.
So interesting to see that kind of over here. This is gonna be more of a matchup I think people usually associate with Modern.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the one of the biggest tools this is going to have is its ability to be a toolbox, and that's going to be the interesting thing with Jund
Oh yeah,
being its powerhouse, having its answers, having its removal. He's basically going to systematically take apart everything that Doc's going to bring to the table. So it's going to
yeah.
be really interesting to see if Doc can land a threat, actually get in for some incremental damage, and actually chip away at him. So it looks like they are ready to go. Got a polluted Delta, and he's gonna fetch.
So Platypus was on the play. Looks like.
Yeah, I would assume so. He had a Verdant Catacombs. Doc goes and gets a Tropical Island. Gonna shuffle it up.
Did anyone mulligan? Are they both on 7?
Honestly, I didn't see that. I was too busy dealing with all this technical BS that I had
Yeah.
issues. I had OBS crash,
Trying to get
so
everything set up is a stretch in itself, so
oh
commend
god,
you
yeah.
for that.
So it looks like Doc is gonna play out a Gilded Goose. The goose is
Okay.
loose. Argon Platypus, he's gonna use his Verdant Catacombs and go get himself some land here.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
The classic bolt the bird.
Yeah. Yep. Bolt.
And this is definitely the kind of matchup where bolting the bird is even more important than normal. I mean, there are some matchups where your opponent gets to 3 and it's not like that big of a deal because they have a lot of other like twos and things to do. Like in Maverick, bolting the bird not as relevant, but here the sheer glut of good threes in the Bug Zenith deck makes that initial bolt just so critical.
I agree. And it
Slam
looks
that
like
him while Veil's not up.
I was gonna see. Yeah, him to Torok. Looks like he gets rid of a force of negation. I didn't see what the other one was.
That was a nice Fang Quaddle.
Ice Fang Quaddle.
Was close to
Nice.
that, yeah.
This
But
is this is what Doc's got to contend with. The constant get discard, take apart your hand, get rid of everything you can do. They'll land a threat,
yeah.
and then he's going to be on the back foot, which is going to be where Zenith really doesn't want to be.
Oh yeah.
Looks like he's got a good brainstorm there. Passes the turn.
Ugh. That's
Platypus.
a rough place to be. Getting
Eh,
thought seized here, also not a good place to be when you miss your land drop.
No, I agree. He's got a Force of Will, Ice Fang Quaddle, Zenith, and Abrupt Decay. It looks like.
Yeah.
Man, that is
Zenith
rough.
stop at Dryad Arbor. Makes sense.
Yep.
Jund is doing its Jund thing here.
It absolutely
I,
is.
I like to refer to this as the verb Junding somebody. So.
Yeah. It's
Missed land
John,
drop again.
and there's a Bloodbraid Elf.
Yeah, that's a never-ending stream of 2-for-1s here is not. Oh,
Oh
that
man.
is brutal. Oh god.
Oh, he's gonna force it.
I mean, it's still a 3-for-1, but
Yeah.
oof.
It's still
And the clock to come with it too.
right. And
Uh,
that's
are
just it.
are there wastelands in this Jund list? I'm not sure if that's stock or not, but it's a card that modern Jund wouldn't have access to that I could see being decent here.
You know, I don't think he actually did register
Ooh.
Wastelands.
Okay.
Nope, he's got no Wastelands in his deck.
All right. Yeah, Questing Beast is going to be a huge card on both sides here. We saw that hit the table and just get a snap concession, although
Yep.
other things were at play that caused that.
Yeah.
But
Doc really was pretty much out of resources. And
yeah, once he missed that land drop, he was so far behind. There was at the end of the day, the problem one of the problems with the Bug Zenith deck is that all of its good stuff is at 3 or 4, and if you get put on the back foot for just long enough where you can't cast your 3s or 4s on curve, sure, if they resolve, you can get back into the game. But step one is going to be making up all that lost tempo that you had, and
yeah, I
Jund is
completely
very good at stopping you from getting there.
I completely agree. So out of Doc's sideboard, Doc's got two Carpet of Flowers, one Fatal Push, two Flusterstorm, two Veil of Summers, one Collector Roof, one Liliana the Last Hope, a Pernicious Deed, a Plague Engineer, and four Leyline of the Void. What do you see him bringing in here?
So the Pernicious Deed is an interesting choice. That's kind of dependent on how many walkers are in the Jund list here. Now that Ren and Six is gone, I would assume there's probably some number of Lilianas, and maybe for post-board grindy games like this, a Vraska Golgari Queen.
Actually,
I know that's a 4C Loam All Star. I don't have the list in front of me. I probably should.
it's he's
Um,
running two Liliana the Veil and two Chandra Torch of Defiance.
okay, yeah. So the Chandra Torch of Defiance has definitely come in. I think given that the walkers are the marquee threat here because Goit gets locked down by the Strixes pretty easily. It looks like Doc is on some flavor of an 8 Strix list.
Yep.
Um, that the
Actually,
Goif isn't going to be the best threat. Is it just the 4 Ice Fangs?
it is just the four Ice Fangs.
Ah, let me locate these deck lists so that I can speak with actual authority about what is in the decks. That might be a good thing to do.
Well, I know he's going to bring in the Veil of Summers because that pretty much shuts down any. It shuts down his Thoughtseize, which is big. I I can't imagine him going with a bringing in Liliana and trying to grind because that I really don't. I mean, he would that would be an immediate card that would get taken out of his hand. But Veil of Summer easily is a must. I really don't think he's other than Fatal Push. I don't think he's got a whole lot of options. And as on the Jun side, that was pretty much the best game one that he could really ask for. His sideboard,
Oh yeah,
I mean, he's got Carpet of Flowers as one of. Might be a little bit here. He does have Scavenger Ooze. He might bring Skoos in to eat up some of the
Scoos would be
graveyard.
good here. I would bring in Scoos here.
Yep. Other than the rest, he does have Ruination. So he's got a one of Ruination. That would.
Ruination. I gotta look that one up. Is that Yeah, I gotta look that one up.
It's three in a red, destroy all non basic lands.
Okay, yeah.
And
So I
Doc.
guess that's the non-basic land hate of choice here.
Yeah. And Doc's on quite a few basics. So it probably isn't a great bring in, but I could see Skoos coming in. I think that's pretty much his only bring in. It looks like they're shuffling up for game two. Doc's probably going to be on the play here.
Yeah, being on the yeah, the play draw is also pretty vital here. Being able to sneak out a mana dork ahead of a removal spell is going to be a big deal. I'm getting word you may have a bit of echo you may want to address.
Yeah, I'm looking at that too, and I'm wondering if it's coming from. It's coming from what? Is it me that's echoing? I'm not sure.
That seemed to be the indication. If it's me, I can mess with volume amounts somewhat to see if I can rectify that.
Hmm. Not really quite sure where it'd be coming from, honestly.
Trying to pull up the deck lists right now so I can speak a little more authoritatively about what's going on.
Looks like Doc is leading out with an island. There's a Badlands and a Thoughtseize.
Turn one thought C's always
Yep.
always where you want to be. All right, there we go. Now I have deck lists up. Now I can talk about what's going on.
Nice.
Ooh, 4 Plague
So
Engineers in that Jund sideboard. That is a lot of Plague Engineers.
that is a
I
lot of
wouldn't be
Plague
surprised to see
Engineers.
those come in, but I don't know if you can bring in all of them here. Did you get any indication of how many cards Argon shuffled in?
No.
Mm.
And I think the only way for me to fix the echo is to mute me so you can't hear me. So right now the stream can hear me, but you can't hear me.
So
I'm
if there's
assuming
still echo now, then it would be on my end.
so you can still hear me though?
Are we still hearing echo? Okay.
Maybe somebody will answer if there's still an echo.
The problem is that now I can't hear you, so muting Go Live
No,
Discord
you are
might not be
muted
the
now.
best
Now I
plan.
can't hear anything. No echo. All right, cool. So there's no echo now. But you are muted. This is such a fun. So sorry about the difficulty, guys. There you go. Can you hear me? No, he can't hear me at all. I know Twitch can hear me. Which that was one of the main deck cards, which was one of the things I was really interested to see if that was going to be his incidental graveyard hate, his way to get some advantage. No, I would agree with you there. Right. Yeah. I that's what a blood braid. I feel like I'm pretty far behind here. All right. Another Grove of the Burn Willows. Doc's got a Leovold out. These life totals, the life totals are just so far from each other right now. No, they can't. Yeah. The funniest part is all the Discord notifications won't let me click. Actually, fix it. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Just
Can't hear Utopia.
now I can.
You can hear me now?
Yeah.
Stream, can you guys hear me? Are we back?
Yeah,
Get a
we're
thumbs
good
up.
now. I can see it now.
Awesome. All right, let's keep track of where we're at.
That was terrible.
Over here, we can see Doc's namesake card, the Leovold,
Right?
which I think is actually going to be a huge card in this matchup. I think that's one of the best cards that the Bug Zenith list has here. Not only is it walling off the Bloodbraid Elf, but it's also stopping Jund from doing the Jund things, which involve generally targeting permanents or players, turns out.
No, I completely agree. The greatest thing is that he's now got a threat. He's now able to do what he can to try and bounce himself back here. I think that's going to play.
Yeah.
That's his only chance of survival, really.
Who is at 5? Is it Doc?
It's Doc. Yeah, I'm fixing that right now. Now that the building's not on fire.
Ooh, yeah. Fetch out a Dryad Arbor and
Right.
block. I like it. Sometimes you just got to turn that 3 damage from Bloodbraid Elf into Stone Rain, you know?
Right.
Sometimes it's better that way. Thought C's coming in. How many cards does Doc actually have in hand? Looks like 4?
That's what it looks like.
Okay.
It might be 5.
Best way for Doc to come back into this game would be to Veil of Summer that somehow, but
Right.
looks like that's what's
Which
happening.
there it is. Yep.
This is gonna that's big. Any removal spell here is good, but at 4 you're in a really precarious spot. You can't fetch anymore now. You can't really. You got to be real careful. You can't force anything, assuming force is still there, because just I haven't seen. Doesn't look like Argon has any bolts in the graveyard or in exile, and that's a rough way to go out.
Yeah.
So
No, I agree. If he may be holding him in hand, he could have been trying to draw the bolt out or draw the Veil of Summer out with Thoughtseize.
alternatively, you can cast Uro.
Yeah, that'll gain you 3.
That also stops Bolt from killing you.
Yep.
There is the Bolt.
It looks like he was going to bolt him to negate the life loss. Oh, stomp.
Ooh, that's brutal.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's it.
Very good. Great patience on Argon's side there, holding up those removal spells to just close out the game with the Uro on the stack.
Yeah.
It's definitely very tempting to bolt the Leovold there, but in the business we call that playing to your outs. So
That's exactly right. And honestly, You don't see Jund very often, but it did a hell of a job of ripping Zenith
Yeah.
apart. It really did.
These are, at the end of the day, like, these are all very good cards. There's no weird jank in Jund.
Right. There really isn't.
It's
There's
the OG good stuff pile for a reason.
right. That's exactly it. It does what it does, and it tears everything apart. And it, I mean, if you're not prepared to deal with it and to constantly have cantrips and to constantly be drawing cards, you are going to run out of hand, and you're basically just dead in the water.
Yeah, I'm looking at the list again, and I really like some of the innovations that are here, especially in response to Veil of Summer. The Bone Crusher Giants are huge, given that just like it's just another thing you can do that stops that Veil doesn't do anything against. I mean, you're playing against something like the Bug Zenith list, which has looks like only 2 Veils, but there's definitely decks with more than 2 in the format that are popular.
Right.
You run into some. These are things you got to keep in mind. There's a lot of burn in that Jund list, and I think that was really, as we saw, it was really key there.
Yeah.
Closing out the game. Also, 4K command. Man, I really wish I got a chance to look at this list in more depth before they started. That's a lot of K commands, which goes against what I was saying about being good against Veil Summer, because getting that card veiled real bad.
Right. And that deck is a deck full of answers and not, I mean, there's some threats, but the Bone Crusher Giants, great removal, great threat. I mean, it definitely does a good 2-for-1 on your opponent.
I'm actually reminded, looking at this list now, I'm reminded pretty heavily of the Red White Monarch lists in Pauper, actually, where the end game, where those lists sacrifice like having meaningful threats. I mean, it's Pauper, you don't really have meaningful threats anyway, but they sacrifice the meaningful threats, like I would say Gurmag Angler, in favor of just like random idiots that turn sideways. But and like this list seems to be a lot more in on the random idiots that turn sideways plan. Like I would imagine Dark Confidant goes horizontal for the win pretty often here. Because
Yeah.
like the only things that I would really count as beef are the 3 Goyves and like the Questing Beast. Like Bloodbraid Elf is a 4-mana 3/2. That's not really beef. Clothis, I guess, if it's on, and like the Bone Crusher Giant when you cast it, but I think that's mostly just an additional removal spell here that doesn't get veiled.
Right.
So interesting Jund list we saw get there in that round.
No, I'm excited about that, and I'm also excited for round number 2. Round number 2, we got 2 new decks coming at you. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to get everything set up. Again, my name is Beyond Sadistic. This is Utopian Mycon. We are the MTG Paper Legacy Discord. This is our Thursday night mod fight, and thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Stick around.
Is the stream still here?
I'm still here. It sounded like he cut the commercial, so